Right, so this is the setup tutorial for the Minimap. So first thing you'd need to do is make sure it's properly working in this game, where I've already set everything up for you. And first thing you need to do is make sure you copy and paste this folder in Workspace into the new game. So here, paste into our original location. As you can see, everything is in there. Next, make sure you copy and paste the lighting and paste it into the lighting section. Next, copy and paste these two parts in replicated storage and paste them into here. And finally, or second to last, make sure you copy and paste these two scripts. Now, copy and paste this UI into the starter GUI. And finally, make sure to copy and paste this local script into the starter player scripts. So now it is set up. Give it a Oh yeah, and before you test, make sure that you don't get this message, because this means that you have not enabled the proper settings for your game. Make sure you have these two on. So as you can see, it's working, but it's not properly set up, because not only is this the wrong map, but yeah, this is not very aligned. So second of all, you will need an external application that I've linked in the description. You need RoRender v3, and there are other tutorials available, but for this video, I'll show you how I did it. So first of all, make sure you install their plugin and create settings, load settings, and auto configure. So as you can see, there's this huge purple area that contains the whole map. So next, make sure you have to start the server. And finally, make sure, so you will have to search something up, but you should open a server with the amount of cores as in your CPU as the player account. So I have 16 cores, which is pretty good, so I can open the maximum amount of players. And this will allow for the image to render. So just go ahead and start. And make sure before you do this process, you have HTTP enabled, otherwise nothing will work. So now this will take a while depending on the speed of your CPU. So my CPU is very advanced and very good. So it should take like maybe a few minutes, or maybe in like a few seconds. But yeah. So it should hopefully, yeah, so as you can see, it's loading. If you have any issue with this process, make sure you check out the manual for RoRender that I will also link. So now you should exit out of all of these tabs, and so again, this process can take a bit longer for like slower computers, but again, mine is advanced. So now save it as some sort of map for test.png. And okay, now that you've done that, make sure you go to these two elements, which are called mainframe, and you replace the image I have with this new one. So map for test. So right now, again, yeah, okay, so right now, again, this is kind of improperly scaled, but don't worry. There are settings which can help fix this. So now that you have that installed, make sure you go ahead and find out the size of your game. So I already did that, and so I can just copy these two and paste them into the settings. Give me a second. Where are they? Where are the settings? Here. So replace this with that. And again, so for testing, make sure you also add the team that I already have set up, which is Germans, and paste it into there. All right, so now the map should work. Yeah, give it a second to load. It's very slow. I mean, not very, but it can be slow. Oops. I have no idea. Oh, my apologies. Yep, we need to have these on. Make sure you have HTTP on. And yeah, as you can see, this works, but like, it's not aligned at all. So what you would like to do is go ahead and mess around with the position of this part called center until it's properly aligned. So I already aligned it for this video, so I'll just give me a second, copy the position. There we go. And it should work. Give it a second to load. Oh my god, I have no idea why it keeps disabling itself. But please have this on. That's very strange. Maybe a studio error. And yeah, so as you can see, this is basically aligned. This is almost aligned, but again, you can go ahead and do this on your own to fix it. And in the larger map, you can see it's also basically aligned. Right. So, and then this is basically it, and your whole map is set up. But yeah, you can also use these coordinates to launch like an attack or a defense order. So let me launch one here. So 50 minus 600. 50 minus 600. And as you can see, it's basically there. Might be a bit off because of the scaling. But there's now an attack order in that location. All right. And yeah, that should be basically it. For additional options, I'll explain the settings here. So these are the like locations that are visible on the map. So you can make your own icon and upload it and replace the old ID with the new one. you can add the description and the name, and make sure you have the part reference for the whole point. And do that for every single point you want to add. And again, you can mess around with these, but these basically control how big the icons will be. Make sure to adjust them to your preferred size. And these are the admins that can use the defend attack sort of like a panel. If you want to leave out the whole menu, just delete the stuff in groups and users. And yeah, so this is for the admin panel. So these are kind of like the special options when you can select who you want to give the order to. So there can be like a storm something option where the check function to see if the player is part of this group is defined here. If the player is in this group and his rank number is higher than 2, then he's in the group. You kind of have to know Lua for this, but it's pretty easy basically. Just follow the syntax that I have. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for watching.